Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, I make programming tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to discuss about Python variable. In every programming language, there are uses of variables. What is a variable? When you are writing a program, you are obviously storing data in your computer memory. So, the data you are storing needs computer memory space to reside in your computer. So the space has its own location, and a location always has to have a name. We call this name the variable. For example, you want to multiply two integer numbers in a Python program. Now, what you will do is store your integer numbers in two variables and store your answer in another variable. As you can see here, I stored 3 in a variable called x and stored 4 in a variable called y, and stored the result in a variable called a. And then I used print function to print the result. What I printed here is a, because this is the name of the location in computer memory where I stored my result. So the variables I used in this Python program are x, y, and a. Let's write down another program. Here, as you can see, I added two numbers. One is integer 5 and another is float 3.4, and the number and the result came as float number as well. So the variables I used here are x, y, and z. Here I stored the float number in x and integer number in y. Z is used here to store the result. Result is a float as well, because if you calculate between one integer and a float number, the result comes as a float number. So a variable can be used to store an integer number and a floating point number as well. So can you store string in our variable? Yes, of course. Here is a Python program. A equal I am a string. This is a string inside double quotation. As you can see, I stored my string in a variable called a. So we can store integer number, floating point number, and string in variables. We can even assign multiple variables in a single statement. Here is a program of assigning multiple variables in a single statement. A equal B equal C equal 10. And then I printed A, and then I printed B, and then I printed C. So as you can see, the output is thrice 10. Variables are very important in Python or any type of programming language. It makes things easier for the programmer. If you assign any data in a variable, you can access that data whenever you want by using that variable. You can name your variable anything you want, but there are some rules you need to follow while naming the variables in Python. The first rule is the name of the variable must always start with either a letter or an underscore. For example, num, or maybe str, or maybe underscore str, or maybe underscore num, etc. can be a variable name, but it has to start with either a letter or an underscore. The second rule is the name of the variable cannot start with a number. For example, 3num. It cannot be a variable because it started with a number. The third rule is the name of the variable cannot have special characters such as hash, dollar, and etc. Variable can only have alphanumeric characters and underscore. The fourth rule is variable name is case sensitive in Python. That means small letter str and capital S and tr are two different variables in Python. Let's write a program in our IDE which includes using variable. Let's add two integer variable, two integer number. So what we need to do is we are going to assign our integer numbers in variables. So I'm assigning 5 in A, and let's assign 6 in B. And then what we can do is we are assigning our result in a variable called C. So the result here is, we can do anything we want, like we can add this. So let's add. We can assign we can do another calculation here. So we can assign another variable called D. Sorry, we can declare another variable called D, and let's assign another calculation between A and B here. So let's do multiplication. So now we can declare another variable, and we can assign another calculation here. Let's declare F A minus B. Let's declare G A by B. So here it is. Let's do something, and yes, let's use the print function to print our variables. Print C, D, G. Let's save our file. Let's name it variable.py. Yes, so now we are going to print this program in our command prompt. This is the command for the Windows users. Let's write down the file name, which is variable.py. Let's see what happens. So here, as you can see, my answer. Yes, so the answer of C is 11, the answer of D is 30, the answer of F is A minus B, so 5 minus 6 is obviously -1, negative answer, and the answer of G is a floating point number. So as you can see, what I did here, I printed I printed these answers using the variables. So this is how we use variable in programming language, and variable are very important because it makes the programming very much easier. So thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you so much.